Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. My name is Lisa Crawley. Don't be fooled by my Kiwi accent. I actually am in Los Angeles right now, and gonna start off. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. Gonna start off with a number called "You've Got the Love." Sometimes I feel like throw my hands up in the air. I know I can count on you. Sometimes I feel like saying, Lord, I just don't care. But you've got the love I need to see me through. Sometimes I feel like the game's just too rough, and things go wrong no matter what I do. Now and again it feels that life is just too tough, but you've got the love I need to see me through. You've got the love, you've got the love, you've got the love. You've got the love, you've got the love, you've got the love. When food is gone, you are my daily need. When friends are gone, I know my Savior's love is real. You know it's real, 'cause you've got the love, you've got the love, you've got the love. You've got the love, you've got the love, you've got the love. Time after time I think, Lord, what's the use? Time after time I think it's just no good. Sooner or later in life, the things you love you lose. But you've got the love I need to see me through. Sing with me. You've got the love, you've got the love, you've got the love. You've got the love, you've got the love, you've got the love. Sometimes I feel like throw my hands up in the air. I know I can count on you. And sometimes I feel like saying, Lord, I just don't care. But you've got the love I need to see me through. You've got the love, you've got the love, you've got the love. You've got the love, you've got the love, you've got the love. You've got the love.
Not only do you got the love, you are the love.
So
Good
sweet.
morning, Lisa Crawley.
Hi there, how are you? So
I'm
great to be
fabulous.
here.
How are you? What a pleasant way to open our service, and just love having you with your inaugural CSL-LA
Oh,
sharing.
it's such a pleasure to be here and to discover this wonderful congregation and what you're doing here. It's very special.
Well, thank you. We're so happy to have you here, and it's been a build up to get you here, and we got you here, and it's so fabulous. I'm glad you're feeling better, and I know this is early for a musician, but thank you for being up and getting your voice all ready.
Well, grateful for daylight savings sometimes, you know? It's nice to be that.
So
Sometimes,
true.
yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes. Well,
Yes.
there's a whole conversation around what its existence, but be that as it
Yes.
may, we are here and we are proud to be here and happy to share this time with you. So thank you, thank you. I'll see you in just a bit when you come
Yes.
back on and sing "Calling in
Thank
the
you
Light."
so much. See
Great,
you
thank you.
soon.
Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and it's my privilege to be back with you all again today, or back with you today, after having had a weekend away to celebrate the birthday of a beloved soul brother of mine and some R&R time. Boy, it was so nice to just be detached from it all and just get some sun and lay at the pool and spend time with my dog and be with friends. And so we all need that as a moment of restoration. And I certainly enjoyed mine. And I'm happy to be back with you today on this day, the 2nd of November in the year 2025, experiencing the fabulousness of the change in time, this human trek of time change. I don't know if it's daylight savings beginning or ending, and it really doesn't matter. We're here. I sort of say we're here and we're queer, but we're here and we're queer, and it's right now. All that really matters in life is the moment and what we choose to do with it and be in it as the moment unfolds through us and as us. And so once again, I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I am the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And I affirm for each and every one of us, whether we're joining us live or at a later date, by experiencing and participating in the consciousness and the energy that is Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, we know and affirm that right where we are the perfection and the wholeness and the presence of the only thing there is, the divine itself. And so, cheers. Cheers to that. And so whether you're joining us today at a later date or at live through YouTube or Zoom, we open ourselves up for an awakening to our spiritual magnificence in a new way. The vision statement for our community is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. I affirm for each and every one of us that we are having that unfold through us right here and right now, and that this service provides an opportunity for an awakening, which is then providing an opportunity for us to be more personally self-empowered. So without any further ado, let's move into our opening slides. And so, as stated earlier, our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. In our philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind, which is what we practice primarily in our teaching, our philosophy, our faith, our way of life, a spiritual awakening is the remembrance that we are one with the sea of consciousness. And that means that what it is, we are. And so we say hello and a welcome. I love this beautiful little poem that exists on the screen right now, that it was just reinforced by the word love that Lisa just sang to remind us that we are love. Love is the self-givingness of spirit, as Ernest Holmes would say, whose desire is to create more of itself. And the only way it can do that is out of itself, which means you and me. The words of this poem reinforce that for each of us. And so I invite you to hear that with this spiritual truth, anchoring it in. You are a gift to the world. To everyone whose life you touch, your soul is eternally blessed with love and light. Know the truth of your being, and you'll always be the gift that keeps on giving. Let's take a moment and acknowledge and honor that for each and every one of us. As we welcome all races, all ethnicities, all religions, all countries of origins, all gender identities, all sexual orientations, all abilities, all disabilities, all spoken languages, all ages, everyone in this community is welcome, for we welcome one and we welcome all. One of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes, which many of you have heard time and time again and spoken them as well, is Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. That spiritual truth and that information, that invitation and affirmation and declaration honors and acknowledges and affirms that just as you are the perfection and the wholeness and the completeness of the divine itself. As a community, we teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. At its very core, foundational, fundamental element is that there's only one thing taking place. It's a reflection of the energy of itself known as the source, or the thing itself, or divine, or even that which we call God. We are each individualized expressions of that. And because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, it responds to that which we know itself to be. We're going to take that again. It responds to that within us that knows itself to be, meaning that as we know ourselves to be the power and presence of the thing itself, it responds to us and provides us experiences in life that reflect that. What that all means to us is that it's incumbent upon each of us to know who we are as divine beings, experiencing and expressing our humanity. Why does that matter? It matters because we're each imbued as divine beings with the qualities of the divine, which include, but are not limited to, peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. The more that we choose to be those qualities through thought, through belief, through action, through reaction and interaction with life, the more our life in form will reflect that. So going back to our vision statement as a community, we support individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Today is the day they were all provided with an opportunity to choose anew. I'd like for us to open ourselves up to choose anew by tuning into the frequency of our opening ritual. We do this every Sunday morning. It's called Calling in the Light. We do that 52 weeks a year. We've been doing this for almost 10 years. Well, that's 5,220, right? No, 520. Yeah, 520. Boy, my math's not so good this morning. And whether it's 5 or 520s, let's just all think about the energy that comes from behind the words of this ritual and the energy that is behind it. 520. I'm rechecking my math. 100 times would be 5,200, right? Joy is one of the qualities, and laughter is a reflection of that. I invite you wherever you are right now, if it's safe and comfortable for you, to open your eyes and your ears, or close your eyes and open your ears and hear the words of this ritual as if it were anew, and yet at the same time tuning into the foundational element of those 520 times. And if your eyes are still open, look at the flickering flame of the candle on the screen as we hear the words calling in the light. Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence. It's that which we call spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering a more conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities, as I expressed earlier, that we possess as complete expressions of the divine, one of those being light. And so as we feel the vibrations shift during this experience, may we all become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which includes you and it includes me. The affirmation that I have for us today, and that's reinforced by the third eye on the visual on the screen, reminding us to tune into the spiritual truth, and let it be an invitation and an affirmation and a declaration, as I stated earlier, for each one of us as we open to a spiritual awakening and personal self-empowerment, and letting it be a guide for us throughout the day. It's authored by Anna Grace Taylor, and it's titled The Power of One. One tree can start a forest. One smile can begin a friendship. One hand can lift a soul, and one word can frame the goal. One candle can wipe out darkness. One laugh can conquer gloom. One hope can raise your spirits. And one touch can show you care. One life can make the difference. Be that one today. Such powerful words. And we allow that to be anchored into ourselves as we invite Laura onto the screen to take us through the song to complete our ritual called Calling in the Light.
All right. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. I am love. I am peace in my heart. I am free. I am spirit. I am soul. All together we are whole. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. And so it is. Oh, and so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I have often speak of how much I love the different renditions that we have of Calling in the Light based on the musician, right? And not only was yours lovely and lyrical and melodic and beautiful, but I loved the piano
Oh, thank you.
accompaniment you put underneath it. Yes.
Gonna put my spin on it, right?
I love that
Oh,
though.
yeah.
I've said oftentimes to your own, I would love for us to do a version of a compilation of all the different versions so we
Oh,
could
that's a
hear
great
them together.
idea.
Right? Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
great?
Yes. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
what a beautiful sentiment as well. And, you know, different versions, but the same message.
exactly. It was written by our beloved Bunny Hall. You don't know her, but at some point you might. So it was
Ah,
one of our own artists who wrote that song, and a
really?
member of our
Lovely.
longtime member of our community. So
Oh,
who's a big
fantastic.
change maker both in the music industry and in children's education. So really an amazing being. So yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
great.
good.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah. So fabulous to have you here. And I know you live here in Los Angeles, right?
I'm very close. I'm close to your in-person building. So,
Right, which
yes.
we'll get to see you in person in our holiday service. You and your two friends you're going to have with us to take us through the
Oh, yeah.
holidays. Yeah,
Yes,
that's going to be fabulous.
it's gonna be a great celebration.
I
I'm
can't
excited.
wait. I can't
Yeah.
wait. So, what song have you chosen for us now?
Well, I chose In My Life because it's sort of reflecting on talking about gratitude and things and just, the different roles that people can play in our lives. But yeah, just sort of like reflecting on
How cool that actually then
different things.
feeds
Yeah,
feeds off the reading that I just did with the prayer of "Be the One," right?
exactly. Yeah. And it's, yeah, a Beatles tune, I should say. It's
And
uh, I play sometimes in a hotel cafe, which is on Coenga in Hollywood, and we do a Beatle jam it once a month with different people coming out to join us. And so I'm in the house band, and then we have different musicians sign up to play young and old. It's a really fun
It
celebration.
sounds like so much fun,
Yeah.
but I will tell you, my mind went to a whole different place when you said beetle jam. So,
Oh, where did that go? Like
well, it went
a
to more like beetles, the little insect, turning it into a
oh
jam that you would eat. Like,
oh my goodness. Ew. That's
just goes to show
okay.
you how twisted my one mind is. So
No, that's fine.
anyway,
I just like yeah, I'm
all right, take
vegetarian.
it
So
away.
anyway, this is in my life. Okay. There are places I'll remember in my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I've loved you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I've loved you more. Ooh, in my life, I've loved you more.
Thank you to the Beatles and thank you to Lisa Crawley. The
Oh, look at the love
concept
hearts.
of, I know, I love that new aspect of Zoom, the whole element of how love keeps showing up today is, I think,
Mm,
no mistake whatsoever, right? So it's just to
yes,
remind us to tune into both love as the human emotion, but love
mm,
also being one of the qualities of our spiritual nature, right? Like just keep tuning
absolutely.
into that as we tune into it, then it awakens that within us, which is known as the divine or God or Yahweh, or Allah, or Christ. So, yes.
Mm, mm. All
Yeah.
right, well,
Wonderful.
thank
Thank
you.
you. All right. See you in a bit.
See
Thank
you in a
you.
bit. Bye.
And in speaking of that, tuning in, if you will, that it leads us perfectly into the theme for this month that we kick off today on this first month in the month, the first Sunday in the month. And most appropriately, as always in November, we begin to look at gratitude. And today is no different. We open our service today, or our theme for the month today, which is gratitude is happening through me. Now, I'm going to choose to believe that you all, each of you, whether you're new today, or well, today you're new today, it's probably your first time, but if you've been around, you've been tuned into each month. Our theme has been different in the sense that it's had a different lead component, if you will. But the next piece has been the same. So whether it's been fall or good or vitality or life or love or June groom, it's all happening through me is the phrase and the terminology that I've chosen as our themes for the very purpose, the very specific purpose for you and I to remember that we are indeed the medium, the tool, the gateway, the channel, if you will, by which all happens in life. Because as we opened the service with our calling in the light ritual and my referencing what we teach, one of the fundamental components of our philosophy, faith, and way of life is that there is only one thing ever happening, and that it happens through us, through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, our interactions, if we were to take that down into a subcategory, if you will, because it is the thing that is ever present, and the law of life is as ever present, and our being that medium by which it shows up in life is ever present, never changing. So that which is unchangeable, or those facets that are unchangeable, is important for us to realize that what is changeable in life is our participation in it, our awareness, our choices, the way that we use our mind. I like to look at that as it, the thing itself, God, or whatever it may be. When I say whatever, meaning whatever name one might call it, is that when it looks different by means of who and what we are, or it's different in the sense that we're choosing kindness or vitality or love or gratitude, that it's much like a kaleidoscope that is moving. The light stays the same, but our participation in how we use it changes that which we view or observe. That's the same thing with life. And so today, as we kick off the month of November and look at gratitude, it is my purposeful intention and invitation for each of us to begin to take a new look at gratitude. None of us here are children, and so therefore the concept of gratitude isn't new for us. It's something we're all quite familiar with. And yet what I want us to begin to have starting right now is a new perspective on it, not throwing away the old, but broadening our horizon on it, our perspective, our practice of it, if you will, gratitude, and then enliven the energy of gratitude in our lives in a new way. And that is important for us because that in and of itself opens us up to a spiritual awakening, the remembrance that we are one with the sea of consciousness in life. And it's through that opening up of that remembrance, of experiencing it in a new way and expressing it in a new way, then therefore we tune into its frequency in a new way, meaning in this moment, somewhat one that's never been before and shall never be again, the moment. And as a result of that, can then curate or develop the co-creative nature of who and what we are, and co-creating and curating the experiences in life that we desire to have. I'm going to approach this from a couple of different angles today that are articles or writing or statements that have been written by mostly modern day metaphysicians, modern day practitioners of the science of mind, and all fairly well known. I'm going to open with reading to us an article that was written by the great Jack Kornfield, who's known as the Chicken Soup for the Soul, one of those co-authors of that book, and which was one of the groundbreaking modern day approaches to using science of mind and metaphysics in the modern world, certainly in a way that it had never been before, both through publication and media. And so he addresses gratitude in this way. And once again, I invite you to hear this so that it stirs up something in you anew. He opens his article with a quote from the Maha Ghosananda that says this: "If we cannot be happy in spite of our difficulties, what good is our spiritual practice?" Now that seems to have a dark intonation, but it doesn't really if you listen to what it's inviting in for us. It's saying if we cannot be happy in spite of our difficulties, what good is our spiritual practice? Meaning that if our spiritual practice is to affirm that we are indeed good, that we are perfection and we are wholeness, that really is called into practice through the field of awareness, no matter what's unfolding in life. Well, how do we do that? We do that by choosing gratitude and to know that gratitude is happening through me. Jack Kornfield writes this: gratitude is a gracious acknowledgement of all that sustains us, a bow to our blessings, great and small. Buddhist monks begin each day with chants of gratitude for the gifts of food and shelter, of friendship, and for the teachings that benefit all. I invite you to imagine yourself. I'm imagining myself as one of these three women from this Malawian painting, getting up to go fill a container for water for the day. And as we began to imagine ourselves beginning our day as if we were a Buddhist monk, we do it with a chant of gratitude for the good that exists. And we're going to go on to learn for even that which may not appear to be good. But imagine if you began each day, each moment to the best of our ability by choosing gratitude, how that could indeed change life. I've often said that what drew me into this teaching was the very basic foundational fundamental statement at the the Atlanta Church of Religious Science in 1982 was change your thinking, change your life. Imagine if you were willing to commit to changing your thinking, focused on gratitude to the best of your ability throughout all of your day. How life would then change. Well, it would change greatly, as a matter of fact. Mr. Kornfield goes on to write, gratitude is the confidence in life itself. In it, we feel how the same force that pushes grass through cracks in the sidewalk invigorates our own life. Take that in again. Gratitude is the confidence in life itself. In it, we feel how the same force, life itself, that pushes grass through cracks in the sidewalk invigorates our own life. In Tibet, the monks and nuns even offer prayers of gratitude for the suffering they've been given. Grant that I might have enough suffering to awaken in me the deepest possible compassion and wisdom. Now, let's be clear here. I'm not, and I'm sure the Buddhist monks are not necessarily inviting in suffering in one's life, but what they're saying that in that suffering, might it provide an opportunity for me to use the power that I have, which is the power of my mind, to choose gratitude for it, because it is a reminder of the life force that is within us that is moving the grass through the cracks in the sidewalk. Mr. Kornfield goes on to write, and I want to keep referring to him as Dr. Kornfield, and he may be, gratitude does not envy or compare. Gratitude is not dependent on what you have. It depends on your heart. Heart being the symbol of love. Love so far been the theme for the day. It depends on your heart, our opening our heart. How do we do that? We've learned over the time together that we do that is by choosing courage. Courage, coming from the Latin word courage, whose root word is cor, which means to live from the heart, meaning that when we choose love, we're living from the heart, that symbol of love, meaning that we get to choose the gratitude, that gateway into creating a shift in our consciousness that is then framing life in a way to honor its existence no matter what the effect or the outcome is. Goes on here to write, you can even find gratitude for your measure of sorrows that you have been dealt, the hand you've been dealt. There is mystery surrounding even your difficulties and suffering. Sometimes it's through the hardest thing that your heart learns its most important lessons. Just last week at this party I was with, I was talking to someone that I love very dearly who's going through some very, very difficult times right now. And I was sharing with him as a non-biological brother that which was shared with me when I was going through a very difficult time. And I said, as hard as it is to wrap your head around this right now, if you can choose gratitude for the awareness that you have of what's unfolding in your life, then you'll set the stage mentally and emotionally and energetically for the time, and I'm going to say the day will come when you can look back on it and say, I'm so thankful that I went through that and that I am where I'm at today in consciousness. right? It doesn't mean you're inviting in the hardships. It's just giving a new perspective to the hardships. It's giving a new perspective of the power that you're infused with. Remember, it's the same life force that pushes the grass through the cracks in the sidewalk, or whatever you may say. Mr. Cornfield goes on to tell us this next piece, which I think is so fabulous, is as gratitude grows, it gives rise to joy. Now, I'm going to come back to that joy in a moment to remind us of the importance of joy, but to remind us in this very moment, joy is one of the qualities of the divine, along with peace and power and beauty and life and light and wisdom. Did I leave one out? Mr. Cornfield is saying that as we choose gratitude and live in that frequency, it gives rise the opportunity for joy to make itself known. In other words, for the divine energy to show up in a new way in our consciousness, therefore giving us the opportunity to experience that joy in a new way. He goes on to write, we experience the courage, parking lot that, right? We experience the courage to rejoice in our own blessings and in the good fortune of others. In joy, we're not afraid of pleasure. We do not mistakenly believe it is disloyal to the suffering of the world to honor the measure of happiness we have been given. Joy gladdens the heart. We can be joyful for people we love, for moments of goodness, for sunlight and trees, for the grass through the crack in the sidewalk, and for the very breath within our lungs. Like an innocent child, we can rejoice in life itself and being alive. We're being told here to choose gratitude for the life we have and to feel joy for the ability to choose gratitude and for the life itself. And to approach that through the innocence of a child, meaning not to overanalyze it, to revel in it, and then let the law of life respond to us in the only way that it can, which is through us. Mr. Cornfield completes this article in this way. Encounter every new moment with wonder and gratitude, and you'll experience that it's never too late to open your mind and your heart. Remember how important that part is. As the great Bob Dylan sing, he not busy being born is busy dying. Give birth to a grateful spirit, and you will discover how to live fully and freely. The great Bob Dylan is reminding us that we must consciously participate in curating and developing the life that we desire. And that if we're not doing that, we're not growing and living, we're indeed dying or decaying or disintegrating. And I affirm for each of us that today is not the day, today is the day, not the day to die, it's to live. And just make a commitment to continue to live no matter what is going on in life. For all of our lives have sorrows and challenges and difficulties, whether they're prior to this moment that still either enslave us in our consciousness to what was, or could also have been the gateway to joy. Could be both. But what it reminds us and reminds me to remind you is that let's choose today to be the day to practice being grateful and for life itself, and for choosing to open our minds and our heart to not only witness the miraculous nature of the grass that's growing through the crack in the sidewalk, both literally and metaphorically, and to remember by making that choice that we're opening ourselves up to anew in life. In one of the Science of Mind classes, coursework, there's a segment on gratitude, of practicing gratitude. And in it gives responses from students that had practiced gratitude. And things that came forward were this. Gratitude helps you make friends. Gratitude improves your physical health. Practicing gratitude improves your mental health. And I'm going to state it as in practicing gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. Practicing gratitude improves your sleep. Practicing gratitude enhances your self-esteem. I'm sure in that list of 6, there's at least one in there that we each desire to have more of in our life, whether it's mental health or physical health or making greater friends or enhancing our empathy and reducing our aggression or improving our sleep or enhancing our self-esteem or all of them. We have before us in this very moment an opportunity to make a decision. And it's in that decision making that we can make a commitment, a covenant even, if you will, to set forth our mind, our hearts, our beings on a new path today. And that path is one of living in gratitude. And it's by living and practicing gratitude that we are providing an opportunity to have enhanced mental and physical health, greater empathy, reduction in aggression, better sleep, greater self-esteem, and of course, new friends. And I'd like to encourage us to make sure that we begin with that being a friend to ourselves. How do we do that? We do that by beginning to imagine gratitude, not just as a concept, but as a frequency, as a vibration. In our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we're taught that all that there is energy. We sometimes say that, yes, God is all there is. And do with that word whatever you want. But the important thing to tune into that is that everything is energy and life is all there is. And there's destructive and restrictive energy, as we know from the map of consciousness. And there's expansive and creative energy, that which is of the higher scale. Lower scale being the destructive. I'm going to address gratitude through the lens of Dr. David Hawkins and someone who studied and taught him in an article they wrote, so that we may have another lens of the importance of practicing gratitude. And here it is. On Dr. David Hawkins' map of consciousness, his groundbreaking scale that measures the vibrational frequency of human emotions, gratitude sits near the very top. Remembering the scale is from 0 to 1,000. Gratitude vibrates almost at the top at 900. That's higher than joy, higher than love, higher than peace. It's the closest we can get to source consciousness, divine energy, divine harmony, while still being in human form. This individual goes on to talk about how they've written more about Hawkins' scale than, well, they've just written a lot. Let's leave it at that. And here's what they say. Why practice gratitude? Because gratitude is purposeful, pure acceptance of what is. When you feel truly grateful, you're not fighting reality. You're not wishing things were different. You're saying yes to life exactly as it shows up. And in that moment of complete acceptance, something extraordinary happens. You align with your soul's consciousness. Now take that in, if you can imagine the map of consciousness, and I kind of wish I'd created some visuals for today, but I didn't, because I know you had done those last week with our beloved Amy Steinberg. And if you haven't seen the map of consciousness, you can Google it and pull it up, but it's showing the lowest level, 0, destructive consciousness, the highest level, 1,000, divine energy, God, 900, right there below it is gratitude. We're being told here that when we tune into that frequency, we're as close to our own soul's consciousness as possible. This individual goes on to say, I've learned this lesson the hard way. After my near fatal accident, lying in that ICU bed, everything I thought mattered suddenly didn't. The career I'd built, the achievements I'd accumulated, the material things I'd accumulated, and the endless striving, none of it could help me breathe on my own or take another step. But gratitude in that moment? Yes. Yes, I chose gratitude. Gratitude for each breath, each heartbeat, each care provider who walked in to take care of me, each moment of consciousness returning. Gratitude became my lifeline back to wholeness. I used love and gratitude to heal. Here's what Dr. David Hawkins understood. When you vibrate at the frequency of gratitude, you're no longer operating from lack or fear. Now let's take that in, both imagining the individual laying in their hospital bed in ICU, not able to breathe on their own or take a step, and realize we don't have to be in that physical state, but there may be something in our life that is preventing us from expressing our wholeness consciously and purposefully, and might be disabling us from expressing our wholeness. And let's let that be the catalyst by which we choose to tune into our wholeness through love and fear right now, and to make a commitment, whether we are aware of how we're doing it or not, to make a shift in consciousness. And from this moment forward, at least for this week, and then do our best for the next week and the next week, even if we do it day by day, to practice gratitude. Because it's that shift in consciousness that then creates a magnetic field for more blessings. Because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, that which we choose to be and to tune into must show up in form in our life. This individual goes on to write, the energy of gratitude doesn't just make you feel good. It literally rewires your brain, opens your heart, and connects you to the creative force behind everything that exists. When you say thank you to the universe, you're acknowledging your place in the grand design. You're recognizing that you're not a victim of circumstances, but a participant in creation itself. Start simple. Each morning or night before bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not the obvious stuff. Dig deeper. But you can do the obvious stuff too if that helps. Find gratitude in the struggles, the setbacks, the moments that initially feel like failures. Those are often carrying your greatest gift. But here's the truth. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about recognizing that everything is sacred. Even the broken parts, even the parts that hurt, even the parts that don't make sense yet. I had an experience of this yesterday where I had just prepared this talk, and one of my longtime dear friends who had introduced me in many ways to metaphysics and a new way of thinking has passed away at 95 and a half, and her service was yesterday in Atlanta in a very traditional church, and it was very traditional, a traditional approach, unlike what I knew her to be, but it is what it is. And so her daughter sent me the link to watch it afterwards, and I did. And I kept thinking, this is so not what I knew her to be, and it's so not what I practice. And can I find good in this? I want to stay tuned in. Stay tuned in. The great Abraham Hicks tells us to stay tuned in, turned on, and tapped in. And I kept doing that, knowing there was good to be had. And I loved listening to her grandchildren and her daughter speak. But I was having a bit of a difficult time, if I be honest with you, relative to the Bible verses and the traditional approach to it. And as the service ended, they sang the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. And I was so taken aback. And I reached out to her daughter and told her how much I loved that. I'm like, I'm so surprised they do that in this traditional Christian church there. And she responded like, they don't do that there. She goes, I chose that. My mom and I used to go to a Unity church when she was 7. She's now 50 something. And we would sing it there, and I knew how much it would mean to her. And in that moment, in this very moment, as I share this with you, it reminded me to be grateful for all that is, even when the appearance seems to be otherwise. And in choosing to be grateful for that, it then opens the gateway to the joy itself. And what a more magnificent tool to do that than the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, which we sing so often and have for years. Today, you and I get to make a decision. Gratitude is happening through me. The Science of Mind, it teaches us why this is important. And here's why. It says in the book, The Science of Mind, there's a place in us which lies open to the infinite. But when the Spirit brings its gift by pouring itself through us, it can give us only what we can take. It can give us only what we can take. This taking is mental. What it's telling us here is that it doesn't change. It's up to us to be receptive to this good that exists in our life right now. And the way to do that is by choosing gratitude for it, which then creates for lack of a better term, the creative force and process of shifting consciousness. And it's through the shift in consciousness that the law of life responds and provides us with these opportunities or experiences. Let there be peace on earth in a church in Georgia that reminds us that we're all one of the same force, even the force that forces the grass through the crack in the sidewalk. And so today I invite all of us to choose gratitude and to know that gratitude is the engine of evolution, just like choice is. Remember, have been taught by Gary Zukav that choice is the engine of evolution. If you choose consciously, you will evolve consciously. If you choose unconsciously, you will evolve unconsciously. Consciously is far better than unconsciously. Trust me, been there, done that, Zukav says. And then he goes on to tell us choice is the second greatest gift we've been given, second only to the gift of life itself. What life? The life that shoots that piece of grass through the cement. The great Louise Hay teaches us this about gratitude. Gratitude is a way of life. It is the active practice of thankfulness and appreciation. Being grateful can be as simple as sending positively charged thoughts out into the universe to give thanks for all that you have and all that you are. She goes on to tell us, I've noticed that the universe loves gratitude. The more grateful you are, the more goodies you get. When I say goodies, I don't mean material things. I mean all the people, places, and experiences that make life so wonderfully worth living. You know how great you feel when your life is filled with love and joy and health and creativity, and you get the green lights and the parking spaces. This is how our lives are meant to be lived. The universe is a generous, abundant giver, and it likes to be appreciated. You know what she means by that. Think about how you feel when you give a friend a present. The person looks at it and their face falls, or they say, oh, that's not my size or not my color. I never use anything like that. Or is that all there is? Then I'm sure you will have little desire to ever give that person a present again. However, if their eyes dance with delight and joy and glee and they're pleased and thankful, then every time you see something they would like, you want to give it to them, whether you actually do so or not. That's tuning in to joy. Louise tells us to let's spend as many moments as we can every day being grateful for all the good that is in our lives. If you have little in your life right now, it will increase if you choose to be grateful for it. If you have an abundant life right now, it will increase if you choose to be grateful for it. Why? Because it's a win-win situation that we live in. The universe responds to what you choose to be. Just recently, a beloved of mine, dear friend, and a beloved of our community, his mother passed away, and I helped them facilitate getting ready for that. And they kept saying to me, I don't know how I'm going to process this. And I said, just be open to the other side showing up in different ways. How could that happen? And of course, as always, because I've done this numerous times with people, they come up with a way. And she said, butterflies. And of course, everywhere she looks, butterflies show up. And everywhere I look, butterflies show up. And this thing popped up in my social media feed that had butterflies on it, of course, right away. And it wasn't because we had said that. It was because that's the way the universe is always working. Those opportunities are always there if we're choosing to tune into them and see them. But it says this, and I think it's so appropriate to close with this for us today. It says, choosing to have joy is not naively thinking everything will be easy. It's courageously believing that there is still hope even when things get hard. And let's replace joy with gratitude, and to remember that gratitude is the gateway to joy. We've learned already energetically and vibrationally. Choosing to have gratitude is not naively thinking everything is going to be easy. It's courageously believing that there is still hope. Hope in our teaching means the alignment to the consciousness of Christ. It is courageously believing that there is still hope even when things get hard. And so today, I affirm for each one of us that we are choosing to improve our mental health and our physical health and our empathy and letting go of our aggression and sleeping better and being more friendly and having more friends show up in our life because we're choosing gratitude, that high, high, high frequency on the map of consciousness. And not only are we choosing it, but we're giving it out magnetically and opening ourselves up to it returning to us in life. And to remember, there's nothing that we have to do to create it, but there's a whole hell of a lot we get to do to experience it. And the only way to experience it is to be it, to express it, and then let the law do its thing. You know why? Because it's going to do its thing no matter what. Happy, thankfulness, practicing. Laura's going to come back on and sing another song for us. I'm so excited to share this theme with us for the next month. Come on, Laura. Lisa, I don't know why I called you Laura. Hold on, we can't hear you.
There we go. I said my friend Laura is also a great musician, so I'll take it. If people think that I'm her, then it's good.
Well,
It's
that's how
good.
you came to us through Laura, so that's what it was. Okay.
I
All right,
know. And
Lisa.
her and I even played
She
music.
was our gateway.
She was, and I'm grateful for Laura. We play together sometimes as well. Yeah, I've chosen. Also, thank you for that wonderful. I learned a lot, and I reflected on a lot. So thank you. And this is about being grateful for friendships. Some of you may know it from the Golden Girls. I want you to sing along wherever you are. We're getting our yacht rock section of the night. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off. Won't you stand up and take a bow? And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, well, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. 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 If it's a car you lack, I'll surely buy you a Cadillac. Whatever you need, anytime in the day or night. And when we both get older, with walking canes and hair of gray, have no fear, even though it's hardly here. I will stand real close and say, thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend.
And thank you for sharing your light and wisdom and gift and
Oh, my
blessings today.
pleasure. It's such a pleasure. Yeah.
So wonderful. Good. Good, good, good. So, well, thank you. We'll see you in just a moment to take us out with Let There Be Peace on Earth, which will have a whole new meaning today for all of us, right?
Sounds good.
So thank you all for being here today. I want to remind you that you are the perfection and the wholeness and the completeness of the divine. And thank you for shining and sharing your light with all of us today. A big thank you to Lisa for the light that she brought into us, to Robert Hensley for our administrative assistant in social media, and for mothering and fostering and shepherding Zoom for us, to Travis Smith, our audio technician, and Let's all affirm that the gratitude that we emit and issue to each of these individuals is indeed manifesting joy in everyone's life. And so a reminder that we have a new thought text for the day that goes out each morning at 7:30. It's so fabulous. Last week when I was away, I encountered so many people that would receive those texts from across the U.S. And all would say, "Oh my God, thank you! You I get something from you every morning, and it really awakens my heart," or whatever the term they would use. They go, and I forward it to others. And so I just think it's so fabulous that we are connecting to others in so many different ways by making a difference in an affirmation each and every moment. I call those texts on my phone. I'm assuming you have named it that for you. A new thought text for the day. So when it comes into my phone, it says that's who's texting me, the new thought text for the day. Anyway, just a little bit of that. Wednesday mornings, we have our midweek morning meditation at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. I invite you to tune in and join us for that. Our newsletter goes out during the week on Mondays, so watch for that coming out. You can find information on us on our website, csl-la.org, as well as the app in the App Store. And a reminder that next Sunday morning we will be back in person at our home at 1200 North La Brea Avenue. And our musicians next week will be Laura Wiley, who brought us Lisa, and Yaron Spiewak, who brought us Laura. So that's the way it all works. And let's just know that it's all perfection and wholeness unfolding. And so may your week be one that is infused with the light of life as you choose to practice gratitude. I'm going to close out before Lisa comes back on and takes us through the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, to remind you of how we began today. The power of one. One tree can start a forest. One smile can begin a friendship. One hand can lift a soul. One word can frame the goal. One candle can wipe out darkness, and one laugh can conquer gloom. One hope can raise your spirits. One touch can show you care. One life can make the difference. Be that one today. If you're on Zoom, we're going to stay on for a moment and say hello after we sing our song together. For those of you on YouTube, we'll say goodbye after the song. Lisa, come back and take us out.
All right. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let the peace. I got a bit lost there. My apologies. Here we go. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now.